Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room podcast. As you can see, this is our first mock draft of the year. We're only going to do the lottery because, for one, Fanspo doesn't have all the players that are should be in the first round on their database. Also, the season just started, so a lot of stuff is still murky. Stuff still got to stabilize. But as you can see, we have a special guest, Mr. River Brown from the Bigger Side podcast. I think this is the first time you've been on here since like a few years ago. You was on here when Cleveland was in the playoffs. Yeah, right. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It's been about a year and a half now. He always supported our podcast since we first started it. So shout out Red, man, for sure. We got Q. We got Q. Of course, consistent, always here. Yeah, man. We've been doing a lot of draft content. I've been doing a lot of threads, watching a lot of basketball. It's been a great season so far. I'm waiting for it to keep pick up. But what we're gonna do? We got the fans.
Before we start, has anything surprised you?
Has anything surprised me? Not really.
We here. You could give me my flowers on the screen now. You don't gotta sit here and wait. Like you could just give my flowers now, man.
Oh, you talking about Igor?
Yeah. We can go ahead and just get that out the way.
I wasn't hip to him. I saw him in the ANGT tournament when he's going against Nolan. Him and what's bro name? Hugo. When him and Hugo was going against Nolan. And,
Hugo, nice.
Yeah, his next tournament. But he's really impressed. The competition still has been light. He hasn't really played anybody. They've been playing some bums. Respect to the teams they've been playing. They haven't played anybody great so far. So he's risen up my board a lot, but I still want to see him play some competition in order for him to reach his potential. Has anything surprised you? This draft?
Probably that dude from Illinois, Caspus. If that's his name? Yeah, he's definitely. I ain't even have him on the board coming into this year, and he's definitely been doing his thing. That's pretty much it though. Like Elliott has been playing well too. First 4 games, point guard from UNC. He's been hooping. I don't know how he gonna translate because he's a little small, but he's been hooping. But nothing really too crazy. Like it's about to get like the tournaments have been going on. The one thing I say no. One thing has surprised me is how up and down VJ has looked. That's been something that I did not expect, especially coming off the Olympics and he was hooping. Probably outperforming NBA players during that run. And now he's over here in college when it's a little bit more systematic and they kind of tone your game a little bit. He's definitely not looked the part, but, we'll see how the season plays out.
Q, has anything surprised you so far in the draft process early on?
Not really. Everybody that I thought would look good has looked good so far. Yeah, I'm a little worried about Ace, but he hasn't shown me anything drastically. I gotta really expect something different, except for getting to the rim and things like that. But I think that'll come once he realizes he has to try and get easier shots. But I'll see what that look like later on.
All right, let's get this thing started. So first thing we're gonna do is simulate the draft lottery on Fanspo. Can y'all see my screen? Oh, I gotta add it to the thing. Why is it not here? Hold on. Let me fix that. Damn.
Damn,
bro.
Why
is it doing?
Hey,
Draft Spo, baby. Draft Spo. There we go. Here we go. First time.
All right. Yeah, my connection tripping. Let me turn this Wi-Fi off my phone and shit.
So, Chief, you got a flat top, Chief? What's that?
Bro, I only have a fro. I have a fro with a taper. I just gotta get a haircut. I'm woofing right now. Until I'm gonna get a cut Tuesday before Thanksgiving, bro. I wanted to wait. Anyways, not really though. Let's send the lottery and see what the order of picks be. So
here we go.
Yeah, okay. Brooklyn.
Okay. Philly at 2. We was just talking about this on the show yesterday.
Yeah, Brooklyn need a first overall pick For sure. They deserve it.
I was telling them Philly should shut it down now.
The league,
bro. I said that.
The league just not gonna let that happen.
I know.
They just won't let that happen. You can't.
But damn, they some ass. They need to shut it down, try to get a top 6 pick, and just ride the wave, man.
Yeah, I said that. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, PG already probably gonna be out for a month.
All right, Rev, you the guest. You get the first pick. Q gonna go second. I'm gonna go third.
Okay. So the first pick in the 2025 NBA draft, I think the easy selection, the obvious selection, the selection we think is probably gonna play out through the rest of the years. We're gonna tag over there and get Cooper Flag up there in Brooklyn, which I think is exciting for me because I live in the area, so I get to watch Cooper Flag up face. But I think for Brooklyn, they need a star. And I think Cooper Flag he may not be this transcendent scorer or this defensive machine, but I think he's a little bit of a jack of all trades in the sense of he's great. He's good to great at a lot of things on the floor. You know, he could push the pace. He's a good ball handler for his size. He's a good team defender. He's a good rim protector. You know, he can switch multiple positions. He's pretty versatile. Has a little mid-range to him. I think what I would like to see him do is improve that frame. I watched him against Arizona. It was a couple times he tried to post up. And, you know, you can see the size. He wasn't as strong to really, you know, impose his will, but he was still able to get to the rim. The jump shot obviously still needs a little bit of work, but Brooklyn is starving for a star, and they haven't done it in the draft yet. So here comes Cooper Flag.
I tell all these people that, you know, join our podcast, we do mock drafts. We do need you to say with the first overall pick, you're going to be selecting. You know,
oh my God!
Sir, for TikTok purposes, obviously.
Okay, with the first overall pick, I gotta say I will be selecting. Is that how it goes?
The Nets.
Okay, with the first overall pick, the Brooklyn Nets will be selecting Cooper Flag from the University of Duke.
Thank you, Duke University, but
University of Duke.
No, Cooper Flag. I think he's the clear number one in his class. I've been seeing some conversations, and we might have. I don't want to say we overhyped him. He's a great prospect. He's one of the best prospects we've seen in the last 25 years. Is he generational? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Just because generational tag goes on Victor, LeBron, like
Zion.
Zion, AD, those type of prospects. And while it is clear that he's the best player in this class, I think his offensive weaknesses kind of hold him back from that. Now he is, I think, generational defensively. He's a truly special defensive talent. When he can guard the ball, he can guard and help. He can guard the nail. He can protect the rim. He can switch probably 1 through 5. But his offense, just the handle needs work. The jump shot needs work. And when he gets to the rim, it's just like most of the time straight line drives. He doesn't have like much creativity in his drives right now. He's just all his life been bigger, stronger, faster than the people he's playing against, at least in the last few years or so. We saw against Arizona, he did struggle in that first half to get past the wings that they had. I think KJ Lewis even did some a good job on him on some possessions. And I think he missed some shots that he usually makes. He did generate a lot of paint touches, and he took advantage of mismatches, which I think something he's going to be able to do at the next level. Like, if he gets a guard on him or a smaller wing, he's going to punish the mismatch. But I think his offensive game still has some ways to go as a creator. But he's only 17. That's the thing with him. He hasn't even turned 18 yet. So I think he's a great prospect, but not generational. But I think he still is the clear best in his class. So it's obviously a good selection. What you think, Hugh?
Yeah, I resonate with everything y'all said. The defense part of his game, I think like he could comfortably be your best like perimeter / like just an overall defender on your team. Like the AK comps are not like outlandish. AK, he was a very switchable defender, Swiss Army knife. Same thing like you said, Rev. He could pretty much do everything on the court. You're not gonna draft him to be your best, offensive player, but if he's like your secondary or tertiary scorer, something like a jacked up Michael Porter Jr. that like could do everything on the defensive end, I think like that seamlessly fits into any type of role that you're gonna, start your team with. He's probably easy to build around. Give him a good playmaker, get him in space. In the NBA game now today, as long as you got like in space, he can do anything. Cuts, back doors, pin down, things like that. If he becomes a better shooter, slightly better ball handler, he's gonna be pretty good, pretty seamless on any type of championship team. He's probably right now. You could probably project he looked like he could be like a second or third best player on any type of team that's trying to compete. And I think that's good enough if you're the Brooklyn Nets, like with getting him for the first overall pick.
Yeah, I think the AK's thing on defense is spot on. I was just watching his highlights a few weeks ago. It looks like Cooper Flag, just less athletic.
Am I crazy for thinking Bam?
The size of Bam, like it's a little bit.
He's like 30 pounds heavier than.
Yeah, so
I'm not thinking more size. I'm just thinking more probably role. Like this brother could switch 1 through 5. He can guard the rim, helps our defenses there. Like in just terms of like when we go to the league, right? And we thinking like who's the most complete defenders, first guy we think of is probably Bam. And then like everybody else. Like I think with Cooper, it's probably like when we think of complete defender, like can you do a little bit of everything? Cooper could probably be in that conversation. Obviously not be as good as Bam, because Bam is, probably if not the best, one of the best defenders in the league. But just with the little to no errors on the defensive end, that's why he reminds me of Bam. AK was a great elite defender, but different time. That's why I don't want to compare him too much to AK, more along like this type of time era.
No, I get that. It's just that, yeah, I think he can do things that Bam can do as far as defensively. It's just like he's a 4. He's probably a 4 or a 3 in the league, and Bam is he's a 4 or 5. That's why it's a little bit different. But I get what you're saying for sure. Q, you gonna have the second pick with the Philly?
Oh, with Philly.
Do they trade this pick?
They could, but it will have to be like who would it be for? And I think some teams have like players that can make their team better with the second overall pick. It just depends on the offers they have around.
Yeah, I don't think there's like
they need to get younger though, so I probably would take.
They could get talent with this pick, but I don't know if like anybody at this pick is just like automatically gets them right back to where they want to be.
Yep.
If like they're using like one of these lottery picks, they're most likely, trying to change it up. They probably done traded Joel Embiid, things like that. You probably just starting over. But if they're gonna keep this pick at 2, you can go a couple of different ways. They got Maxey, they got McCain, so it's like you don't really need to go guard. The only spot you kind of lacking at is like backup big and like wing. Paul George is like 33, 34, 35. So I think right here with the second overall pick, I think the 76ers select Ace Bailey, a wing. He can score. He's athletic. He has a good profile. Only downside, like I said, to the part of the game, in my opinion, is getting to the rim. He does take tough shots, but I think if he gets molded, he's like the perfect complement piece to Maxey, McCain, and Embiid. Slides in at the 3 and 4. He can score the ball. Defensively, I'm not really too worried about that. I think they have a good overall defensive unit as long as they're willing to beat out there. But I think he comes in and he helps with the size like right away.
All right, Ace. I think defense. I think his defense and his rebounding going to translate immediately. I think the offense is the part. Like he's just 6'10". I don't know why they got him listed as a point guard. That's kind of funny, but 6'10", athletic. The shot diet definitely screams T-Mac for sure, but at the same time, I think, and he did say the other day one of his favorite players was PG. So coming here, learn another PG, that'd be dope. Well, yeah, I think Philly, either him or Igor for me. So I'm fine with this pick.
I think people are overthinking Ace Bailey a little bit. I think he is a top 3 prospect in this class just because, for one, there's not many people that you can really argue over him at this moment in time. I think the fact that he does not get to the rim at a good level is a concern. I think the handle is a concern. I think his feel for the game and playmaking is a concern for sure. But a lot of these prospects have concern. You can't teach being 6'10", a nuclear shooter, and he's also has the potential to be really, really good on defense, which has been showing this year. I think a lot of if you're an Ace supporter, you need to be leaning into the fact that he's a good defender. Like, you need to be talking about that more. Not enough people talk about that within his game. They talk about the scoring ability and all that type of stuff, but Ace is a really good defender. He's been compared to like Jabari Smith, and I see the comparisons there, but I think he's a better athlete than Jabari Smith. I think he's gonna be a better scorer as well. He has a knack for scoring a little bit more than I think Jabari Smith does. I know he's
the shots.
Yeah, I get the
the shot profile.
I get the comparisons. His handle isn't great at all. He really can't play make at a advanced level at all. And his feel for the game has issues.
Tief, I'd argue though, I don't think people are overthinking Ace Bailey. I think people are underthinking Harper and Igor personally. Like I don't think I think Ace is a top 3 pick, but I think Dylan Harper and Igor are definitely creeping in that top 3 too. They right there with him personally.
No, I agree too. If this wasn't the 76ers, I know Q would have took Dylan, and I would take Dylan too. So Dylan is my second pick right now for me.
I hate when teams go guard. Like if you got 2 guards, like McCain just got here, obviously, but from what we've seen right now, I don't think like I expect anything different than what we're getting right now. He's just like basically Maxey Light. He's a flamethrower right now. I don't think adding another guard to that situation, kind of really makes sense.
I agree. Yeah, definitely want to go big because then you could put Maxey, even if you don't want to start McCain, right? Now you got Maxey, you got PG, you got Ace, 2 6'8", 6'9" dudes right next to him. So I like the small guard thing. I think it works if you have playmakers back there, but I think if you would have grabbed Harper, Maxey's still not really the playmaker you want him to be at this point. So I don't know how much that'd work personally.
No, I mean it's definitely not out of the question that even though they got Jared McCain, I don't know. It's kind of tough though because neither one, like McCain and Maxey, neither one of them are like great playmakers at all. So it's kind of tough, like to draft another guard. But you could possibly do it. It depends on like how McCain progresses this year and what his role is like, because he can still come off the bench and shit. Like he's not.
Yep. Yeah, off the bench, he probably is gonna be perfect. Like the way he moves without the ball, catches, shoot, like he's great around. Like he does things like that on a fast break. When he gets in the mid range, like paint area, his little side step, little floaters, things like that. They all like scream 6-man to me.
All right, so next team is going to be the Utah Jazz with the third overall pick. This is pretty easy for me.
Here we go.
So ideally, they get around. Well, obviously they want one for Cooper, but you got Igor here, who is literally in Utah right now at BYU. He has been rising up draft boards expeditiously this year with his play. But I think the second overall prospect is Dylan Harper. So I'm not going to let him go past the Utah Jazz. So with the third overall pick, Utah Jazz select Dylan Harper. I think Dylan is a combo guard. He's more of a 2 guard, but he can facilitate the offense. He can create advantages. I think his issues is he's not a great athlete. His shot selection can get murky sometimes, but he's one of the best players in the class at pressuring the rim. He can knock down a 3 at a really good level. He can pass the ball. It needs to get better. And he can also defend at a very high level when he's locked in at the point of attack. So he also can score at all 3 levels too. So he's one of the best prospects in his class. I saw an article on Twitter about someone had him number 1. And maybe if he continues to play like this and they play some tougher competition and he balls out and Cooper, I don't know. I'm not Cooper's going to be number 1. But I don't know. I think Dylan Harper is like in a lot of draft classes could be a number 1 overall pick personally. So yeah, Dylan Harper is going to go third to the Jazz.
I think Dylan goes 1 last year, personally.
No, for sure, definitely goes 1 last year with the weekend.
Well, they had Atlanta, but you get what I mean. He's number 1 last year.
It's kind of weird because I really don't know what the Jazz are doing. I don't know what direction they're going in because they re-signed Lauri Markkanen. They're very bad right now. So they've been competitive in a few other seasons. But I know they got Keontae. Keontae, you can go to the bench. He's been very inefficient. I like him coming out of the draft. He's been terrible. I'm not gonna lie. To Frank, he's been bad this year. I know they just drafted Isaiah Collier, a point guard, last year as well.
Cal has been really good for them.
Cal has been really good. It's my fantasy team. I love Cal. I thought Cal was a lottery pick.
I think they're just trying to find. Like they don't have anybody. They last year in the draft they kind of had late picks, so they didn't really have any star to kind of bend their will to. So you just bring back all the players. You bring back Lauri. You still have Clark. You still have guys you can move and get some draft capital back. And this draft, I think, is the draft where they find their star and they start their true rebuild. Like they don't really have anything to rebuild around right now. So they're kind of just chilling and waiting. And they kind of have the flexibility to do that. They have a ton of picks. They don't have any non-movable contracts. So I think this probably is the draft where we can really see them start to make moves.
Yeah, they have a lot of talent, but like not one. Go ahead, Q.
Also, they took a year off basically with this whole Lowry deal because they can't trade him till next summer. I think going into this draft with the addition of a Dylan Harper and then you trading Lowry, getting off that, getting whatever you get back from that, maybe you get a young talent, something like that. Maybe they go back to the Warriors, see if they get Kuminga, things like that. You add Kuminga with Dylan Harper, you got an electric type of get down. You get some type of electricity going there. Cal has looked good. He kind of looked like what Lowry was doing for them when they was, looking good. I think that's a decent, core to build around. You get some type of injection of talent. He's gonna, be probably a 20-point per game scorer for them. Not gonna be efficient because guards aren't really efficient when they come in, but at least you got some semblance of hope. And this is a top 3-4 prospect in this class.
All right, we're back to you at 4, Riv. With this is the Raptors. What are you gonna do?
Oh my God!
Oh, easy pick.
Yeah,
what they got? They got IQ. They gave him some money. Then they sitting pretty with Scotty Barnes. Then they got RJ Barrett. He's been playing well. All right, I got it. With the 4th pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors select Igor Demon. Listen, you go talent, best player available. And I think he kind of fits the profile of what Toronto wants to do. Aside from quickly, you got Scotty, who's about 6'7", 6'8". You got RJ Barrett, who's about 6'7", 6'8". I think Igor can fit right in there. You also got Grady Dick, who's been playing really well. He's about 6'6", 6'7". So you're kind of – I prefer Scotty being on the ball for this team. I don't mind it either, running the show. But Igor can also play a secondary role in that department too. And I think he also brings floor spacing. He brings the simplicity of the game. He doesn't do anything too advanced, but he also gets right to the point. He's a pretty smart basketball player at this young age. So take Igor with this pick, best player available. I think these other guys after him are a little bit more projects than he is. And I don't think Toronto is in this wait 4 or 5 years for this guy. I think Igor can be a really good player from day one and can really be that guy next to Scotty.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think his issue is that we got to see if he can create advantages against high-level opponents. I think his defense is going to be fine, but he's not going to be good on that end at all. I think he might be okay. He showed some flashes as a help side defender, but his part of his game is the 3-point shot. The passing is elite. I'm not gonna lie. He's one of the best pick and roll players in his class. He can make every single pass on the floor as well because he's 6'9". He's a really good at pressuring the rim as well. So you see him averaging 70.5 assists on 63% field goal shooting. Hyper efficient. I'm just waiting to really validate this pick and validate Igor is. You got to see him against.
Idaho didn't move you, bro. You told me that was gonna be the one to move you, man.
Idaho didn't move you, bro.
Idaho sucks, man.
Key, what's your thoughts on that last pick?
This one of my favorite players in this class. Like you said, uber efficient. He can operate out the pick and roll very well. Like you said, we got to see him do other things. See if he can do other things on offense. Like you said, 6'9". We was talking in the group chat. His comp is like a very, 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 very poor man's Luka. Like very poor man's, but like play style is kind of the same in size. Like he's not as big, but he does similar things. His 3-point shot, I'm not saying it's fake. I trust in it. He's showing like 55%, but it's on low attempts. Still very efficient because he's 6'9". He can get to the rim, finish well, good facilitator. If he's in that on that Raptors team with Scotty, I think they have a good 1-2 man. They're always gonna have two plus playmakers on the floor all the time. You got Grady Dick, so that's a good like outlet option. I think, like you said, this is a team that they're looking to push forward, and he's one of the most. I want to say he's like super, super ready, but you could go in, you could start your team and actually see what they got with him.
Poor man Luka Doncic. Okay. Well, how poor are we going? Like
Luka's a Hall of Famer, so it's pretty poor. But like just style of play and like what he does on the court is like pretty much the same thing. Not at the level, but like you can see like what he's doing is pretty much the same thing.
Low key, yeah. The style of play is definitely the same. The Wizards is tricky. Woo.
You got 5, Q.
This is tricky.
Oh, this is the Wizards?
Yep.
All right. They got Sarr, who's bad on offense. They got Bilal, He's been looking good. The shooting is still, but they got a cool little defensive situation going on here. Poole been looking okay, so like guard is not like super necessary, but I would want to throw another scorer right next to him. At this point, still a project. I'd probably go for me. Let's see. With the 5th overall pick, the Washington Wizards select Trey Johnson. Another one of my favorite players in the class. Very good scorer. He doesn't make it easy for himself, but it goes in. He knows how to get a bucket. I think you add another pure bucket, you take a lot of pressure off of Bilal, Sarr, and Poole. You got another person out there. He got good size, 6'6", slots right in there. Now they got a pretty tall lineup. I'm not looking for defense for him. I'm looking for him to get a bucket. That's pretty much what they lack because I think they got a good defensive identity. I think they need another pure bucket getter, and he fits that mold.
I think I would have took Nolan here just because Sarr is such a big part of their rebuild, and they need someone to consistently get him the ball. And Nolan is one of the best advantage creators in the class, and he's one of the best passers in the class. His finishing with his offhand has been an issue. The shooting has been an issue. His efficiency has been an issue. He's been playing pretty poorly for a while now, but he's adjusting to it being in the pro league with grown players that's a lot older than him. I would have took Nolan just because I think they need someone to get Sarr the ball. They need offense for sure. I think he's one of the best offensive players in the class. Trey, I think Trey reminds me a little bit of Devin Vassell. Really good shot creator. He can get to the rim as well. He can score on all 3 levels. I think the rim and finishing need to be a little bit better, especially this year. And the playmaking on offense need to be a little bit better. Defensively, he's pretty good at the point of attack and can really create disruptions on defense. It's not a bad pick, but I just think they need someone that can really play make a little bit and get Sarr the ball because Bub can do it, but it's not his biggest strength.
No.
Yeah, Washington's tricky because they got Bub, they got Keyshawn playing well, Bilal's there. They're all kind of all their young players are kind of jammed up right now. And I think if you do go Trey, I don't mind the Trey pick. You have to go get a vet point guard. Like a vet point guard that can create for an offense, be a solid playmaker. Kind of like what Houston did when they went to go get Fred VanVleet. You have to go get a vet point guard. Because I think Nolan is a fine pick if you went that route too. I don't know if he'll be ready to start from day one. His offense is very, very trouble and shaky. And I think NBA players are a little bit better defenders or at least better athletes than overseas players. So I think that would, give him some trouble. Trey Johnson, listen, man, he's a dude that could get to his spots. He knows fundamental basketball. He knows where he needs to go. He knows, situational basketball. He knows the spot he needs to get to. Watching him down the stretch in that Syracuse game, you saw him at one point rushing his shots. You saw him at one point, hunting shots, being poor on offense, and then a switch flip, and you saw him being consistent. You saw him slowing the game down, getting to the free throw line, getting to his spot, hitting the midi, be clutch. So there's 2 different sides of Trey. Once the game really comes to him and he becomes more developed, I think this would be a really good pick.
All right, I think it's my pick at 6. And I think
Pelicans suck, man. I don't know what you're gonna do.
I know exactly what I'm gonna do. They need a point guard very, very badly. I know they just traded for DeJounte Murray. He's not a part of their long-term future. They just drafted Yves Missi last year, who I think will be a good center for them. And they got BI, who might be getting traded, but they have Trey Murphy in the waiting right after him. They got Herb Jones after him. So with this pick, I'm going to attack one of the guard positions. They have enough defense on a wing. And when Yves Missi continues to develop, they have enough defense on the interior. So with the 6th overall pick, the Pelicans are going to select Nolan Traore.
Okay.
They need a point guard. He can create advantages. He can get Zion the ball. He can attack the basket. He can create his own shot as well. The shooting has a ways to go. He's been holding on to that ANGT performance, that Nike Hoop Summit performance for a long time now, and that's a lot of the allure with Nolan Traore. But he is playing in a grown man league, and he's taking time to adjust that. I think as the season goes on, his numbers will look better. I'm not ready to drop him down my big board that much right now. I see some people having around 9, which is understandable. But I still got hope for Nolan right now.
I like Nolan.
Yeah.
I like Nolan. Here we go. Who I got, man?
You have the Pacers.
Wow. The Pacers being the pick number 7. If I'm the Pacers, I'll probably trade this pick. There's just no room. Like, you have Siakam, you have Hallie, you have Nembhard, you still have TJ McConnell, you have Aaron Nesmith, you have Mathurin, who's playing really well. You have Jarris trying to find some minutes. You have Obi Toppin you just paid.
I think they need a big.
I also think they need a backup big.
I think they need a starting big. Miles Turner might be a free agent. So with the 7th pick, I just convinced me. With the 7th pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the Indiana Pacers select Kaman Malak. I hope I said his name right. You listen, Isaiah Jackson tore his ACL. I think he's a restricted free agent. Miles Turner, you got to give him an extension. I don't mind.
Wiseman tore his Achilles.
Yeah, I don't even. Wiseman is whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I don't even mind them extending Miles Turner and still picking Kaman Malak. I really don't, because I don't think he'll be day one ready. You know, I think he's shown flashes. I think in that Arizona game he showed flashes. I think all season he's shown flashes, but he's also shown, you know, his rawness and his skill set. So I think Kaman can be a great rim protector. I think he's athletic. He's tall. You know, he can jump really high. The defensive awareness is kind of there. The instincts aren't there fully, but he can block shots. He's long. He's athletic. So you pick him here at Indiana. You need a rim protector. You need somebody who can anchor a defense. I think Kaman has the potential to do that. You're just going to have to wait some time. In a perfect world, Jarris Walker develops, Kaman develops, and you have 2 really high-level defenders, and now you're back. So, yeah, select Kaman here. Indiana probably won't finish here, but, you know, this is mock draft 1.
No, that's a great selection. He also has the upside as a shooter. He hit his first 3 of the season last night against Arizona. They definitely need a rim protector. I also think he's going to be able to rim run, and I think his conditioning can continue to grow as well, but he's going to be able to play in this high-paced offense and give Tyrese Haliburton a lob threat as well. What you think about the pick, Hugh?
No, I like the pick. Like I just said, I think they needed a big. When it comes to big men, especially in the NBA, there's 2 sides to the coin. You get the elite offensive bigs like Jokic, Joel Embiid, you know, calling the talent, but not all bigs are going to be like that. If you're not going to get one of those, I think you need, you know, that defender, you know, that can work in the pick and roll, finish on the basket, anchor a defense. He pretty comfortably could do that. He's not going to be day one ready, like you said, but for Indiana, who has a bad defense, eventually, in a perfect world, if you got Jarris Walker and him down there, I think you have a pretty good defense. Upside of the shooter is there. I think he will be seamless because you just need somebody, you know, do the dirty work. Miles Turner probably isn't a long-term solution, but I don't think they should be strapped trying to find the stretch big just to fit this offense. I think he'd be pretty fine. Tyrese Haliburton has a pick setter. He probably get back to doing what he was doing. He's a very good playmaker. He could, you know, get easy buckets out of him, you know, establish it down like a paint presence. I think he's just like the rest of the raw big. You just got to let him play, and eventually over time he's just going to get better.
I believe we are at Q with the Portland TrailBlazers at 8. Q.
With Portland, the issue is they also got a log jam of talent. They got to move off a lot of like their veteran pieces that, you know, would be better on other teams. They're more valuable for other teams. They got guards. They hit on looks like they hit on a big on Donovan Clingan. Looks good. I think everything they need is probably wing. You probably a wing just to step in there and probably do a lot. If I were to make the pick, I'd probably go Colin Murray Bowles. I'm not sold on the shooting, but I think he could defend. He's not going to be no anchor, but he's pretty switchable. I think he's probably like a top 5 wing defender in this class. So with the what's this 8th, 9th?
8th.
With the 8th overall pick, the Portland TrailBlazers select Colin Murray Bowles.
Teeth hates it.
I know. I don't like it. But I think they already have a really, really good defense. They have Donovan Clingan. They have Tamani Kamara. who else they got? They have a good defense. They have like
they have those two.
Yeah, they have a top 14 defense right now in the NBA. Last time I checked, they have some really good defenders on this team. Oh, Robert Williams too. My bad.
He probably won't be there at the end of the year though.
Yeah, Brogdon. No,
I'm saying that's what a lot of their better defenders aren't going to be on that team.
Brogdon can defend as well. So my thing is they need offense really bad. They're one of the worst offenses in the league. And so I do think they need a wing. And they got Grant too who can defend. And if I would have drafted Concanoople here from Duke if I was going to take number 8 just because they need more offense and he is a really, really good scorer, So he has his issues with athleticism, and I don't know how well he's going to be a defender, but they don't really need defense. I think Concanoople would have been a perfect selection right here because of his offensive ability. Colin.
I like Colin, man. I don't know why
I like him. He kind of reminds me like it's gonna sound crazy. Draymond, like.
No, I see why you say that.
Yeah, so he can play make, facilitate. He can get to the rim. He can guard multiple positions. He can anchor a defense.
Colin.
He
just called Colin Draymond.
But I think he hit his first 2 threes of his career, like last night.
Don't do that because you just said, "Come on, show shooting potential." He just hit his.
No, he has though. He showed way more shooting potential than Colin.
Don't do that.
No, Colin hit his first 2 threes of I think his career last.
It's not.
2 nights ago. If the 3-point shot continues to grow, then he's a much better prospect. But I just don't think he kind of like fits a need that they need because I don't know how him and Klingon work on the court together. I think Klingon should be starting. So I would have went Concanoople. That's what I would say.
I think I think he more like plug and play on like a winner.
I've watched Concanoople. I'm kind of not moved.
I mean,
he's Cam Johnson.
I don't know. He has the ability to score off the bounce. He has gotten to the rim. He hasn't finished in the last few games really well. But he has the ability to finish at the rim. He has the ability to score in the mid range. He's a
shooter.
He's a shooter for sure. But I don't think he's like a specialist. To me, I don't think he's a specialist. So I think it's my pick at 9.
Yep.
So looking at this Hornets team, Mark Williams, I don't know what's going on with him.
Bro, I don't know if he's gonna play this year.
Yeah, Asa Newell is kind of intriguing here. Because he can space the floor. I think he'll be able to do that in the league. He can run. He can protect the rim. Some versatility on defense. They could use it. I don't know if he's gonna be a 5 though in the league, around 6'11". He kind of is a 4. They did just select Salone last year. So right now it's either center or I will select like a shooting guard and just put B-Mill to the 3. The defense on the team is horrid. So I'm kind of looking at VJ here because he can just come in, defend, cut, do a lot of stuff like that. He's a really good athlete as well. His shooting isn't there. His creation isn't there. But on his team, I don't think he would need to be able to do that because they already have Brandon Miller, they have LaMelo who can create. They got I don't know if Miles Bridges is the long-term piece, but he's on the team right now who can create. So that's where I'm at right now. I don't know if it's Asa. I don't know if it's Asa or it's going to be VJ.
You might as well go VJ. You was advocating for them to take Scoot. It's not 1-to-1, but you got an athlete at the 2 right next to LaMelo. You don't need him to create. He can pretty much get his buckets off the bounce, fast breaks. He's athletic enough. He can defend. He's a willing defender, and that's exactly what they need if you're not going to go big.
Yeah. With the 9th overall pick, the Hornets are going to select VJ Edgecombe.
Ooh, you putting B-Miller at the 3?
Yeah, that's fine. I think he can play the 3. Okay. Or VJ can come off the bench. But VJ, elite athlete. I think he has the tools to be a really, really special defender in the league. His creation is – hold on, let me change this to the Hornets real quick. His creation is a big concern. Creating for himself, creating for others, shooting the ball, handle, all of that. Big work in progress. But he's really young, and he has time to grow. But I think day one, he's going to be a really good defender, good offensive rebounder, good cutter, all that type of stuff. And he has a motor, he has the best motor in the class outside of Cooper. and maybe even have a better motor than Cooper. So I think for a team that doesn't need him to do much on the creation side, he can come in and be like a jack of all trades for them.
I like that. I don't hate that pick at all.
So not Q. I think this is Rib.
This is me. All right, so we picked up Stephon Castle, who's looked good. Looks like a home run. Somebody in here be hating, but I ain't gonna say too much on that. Of course they got Victor. They need a point guard. Low key.
I thought Castle was a point guard. What's going on?
I think he's more like a 2. I think he's like a 2-3 or a 2-1. I don't think he's like the point guard. I don't mind him being the point guard, but I feel like we can get something else. Brother, can I see the board? Like, what's up? Like, thank you. Here we go. So you got Vassell. I think Vassell pretty much has locked his spot.
I'll let you know that it's two people on my mind right here.
I got two people too.
We might have to see two people. Caspers is on my mind.
Caspers and Boogie are the two people on my mind right now.
I don't want a small guard.
Hey, you for the Bronx. Chill out.
No, I love Boogie. I love Boogie. I'm thinking of San Antonio. I really don't know if I want a small guard. You already you got small hair.
I like wing here. Like, I could see wing here also.
Well, show me the shooting guards and the small forwards, Teeth, please. Click on that. Thank you very much. No, I'm good. Let's go to small forward.
No, but Con Canupo is a
Con he
small forward.
He's a wing.
No, I know. Just go to all. Am I crazy for going Hugo here?
No,
I like Hugo.
I think this, for me personally, it's super hot for him. He slipped on my board a lot, but that's just me. Right now, I think it's point guard. I think it's either Casper. Casper is a 6'6". He's a really, really special passer, and they need that. Because he's a really good shooter.
No, I'm with you. So you know what? I got it. I figured it out. With the 10th pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs will be taking Kasparis Jacosionis. That's what we're gonna do. If I said it right. I was thinking about Hugo. I definitely thought about Hugo. I know San Antonio sometimes likes to swing and go for these these hot picks, or these guys who are high potential. But I think Kasparis is a good point guard. I think his playmaking is legit. I think the shot is legit, even though I think it looks legit. I think Castle at the 2 is fine, or the 3. I think Vassell right there is fine. You got Sohan, who was playing really well up until his injury, and then you have Victor. But you need a playmaking point guard. Chris Paul is probably not going to be here next year, and Kasparis still keeps the starting 5 tall, lengthy. So give me him. Yeah, I'm gonna take him.
Yeah, scouts are just waiting to see his aggressiveness as a scorer, and it showed against I believe we played Kansas. They played Kansas.
Yes, Kansas.
He made some really good passes in that game. They had some bad turnovers as well. But I think he's one of the best playmakers in this class, one of the best pick and roll players in this class, one of the best advantage creators in the class too. His thing is just finishing at the rim. How well is he gonna be able to do that? How well can they be a primary scorer? But they don't really need that. They got Victor and they got Vassell and they got Castle to play defense. They got Sohan to play defense. This is a great pick. I agree with it.
Yeah, same. I feel the same exact way. Like I said, it's 2 spots you're gonna win. Point guard is not a bad out, especially you got Victor Wembanyama. You're trying to get him easy shots. You got Devin Vassell. He can get shots on his own. He also come off pin downs and things like that because he's a good enough shooter. Stephon Castle, same thing. He plays, he all ball roll. At least as long as you got somebody that could, create some advantages, get some easy looks, some paint touches, some great playmaking. It's a good system. Good thing that they have. Good starting 5. I think he fits in perfectly. I'm not super high on it, but I know for a fact that it will work. Like just based on what he can do.
No, it's your pick, Q.
Kings, damn.
Kings.
I got a few people in mind here that I wouldn't mind.
I really don't, honestly.
This is another one of those teams. I know what they need. They need shooting, and they need another big.
Just big on the board. Who can?
Huh? The only
he feeding to get
I will feel comfortable right here with the 11th pick, the Sacramento Kings select Austin Noel. Feels a need. They need another big. He can play the 4. He can play the 5, and in spot stretches. I think he's a very decent scorer. I think he's able to come in and play right away. Another one I'm not super sold on, but I know it's the Kings. He's not going to be called on to be super productive right away. You kind of get eased in. They got a good foundation already there. I think fits a need. Shouldn't be a bad pick.
I could have sworn his 3-point shooting was better than this. He's been
It looked good. It just don't go in.
Definitely, it's a nice stroke to it. Like it definitely looks
just
good.
Don't go in. But I think that's one of those things that fluctuates just up and down. As long as he takes a lot of cracks at it, whoa, it'll come along.
No, he's definitely shooting it. He's definitely shooting it. And he also has some defensive versatility, can run. I think he might fit nicely next to Sabonis if the 3-point shot continues to develop. They also kind of need like a backup big as well. The team, I don't know what the Kings are doing, honestly. Well, they're trying to compete.
They probably won't be here, but this would be great for them.
All right.
Damn.
This pick is easy for me. With the 12th overall pick, the Spurs are going to select Khan Knuppel. Yep. I think, again, this team needs more offense, needs more shooting. He won't start. He'll probably come off the bench because they already have Sohan. At this point, they'll have Kasparis. They'll have
Castle.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, Castle.
What you mean you guessed, bro? Like,
no, I'm saying I was trying to see what. I'm just going to say.
Come on, bro.
Let's say Kasparis, Vassell, Castle,
Sohan, and Wemby,
and then Knuppel off the bench. Or you can, he could be a starter in this league, but some people think he's a specialist. I don't think he's a specialist. I think he can score on all 3 levels. Hasn't been finishing at the rim too well. He's a sniper. He's a sniper. He's a gunner too. He likes to get his shot up. His issue is like 1-to-1 defending. But again, they have Wemby, who is literally making them a average defense this year. So they don't really need any more defense, and they have Sochan too. So no, that's my pick.
Yeah, this is where I was gonna go. This is what.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, they could have went him earlier, but you get Kasparis. You have obviously you have the chance to get both. I think they both fill in. I think you need another shooter. So they get that right next to Wemby. Any lineup you have, I know he's going to be productive because he could do certain things. Like you say, he's a sniper. He could score all 3 levels, but he's mainly going to try and get his buckets in the mid range, off the catch, from 3. He's going to be a good closeout attacker. That's all good, especially if you're going to have a point guard getting the ball. And like you said, they got Wemby, so you don't need him to be super versatile defensively. Wemby going to cover that up. Castle's there. You just need him to really go out there and be 10 to 15 points per game just off, shooting or providing some type of spacing, so that way Wemby looks even better than he already does.
This me?
Yep, you with the Jazz.
So we took Dylan Harper with the 3rd pick. I think this is pretty easily. You need some shooting. So you need everything, honestly. So let's go ahead with this is 13? Yes, with the 13th pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the Utah Jazz select Liam McNeely. Bring him in, bring in more floor spacing. I think he's a little bit more of I think he's athletic. I think he can run up and down the floor. He's good in transition. Cool ball handler. Really good on the glass, surprisingly, for his size. Will probably fit right next to Dylan pretty seamlessly. The 3-point shooting will stick, in my opinion. He's an efficient player. He takes smart shots. So bring in Liam to Utah Jazz. They're going to build something here, man.
Liam a real specialist, man. I'm not gonna lie.
He's a sniper, man.
Yeah, he's a real specialist. His issues, I think, are 1-on-1 defense as well. How he's going to defend at the next level. Can he do anything else besides shoot? Because I guess he hasn't rebounded well, which is a surprise in my opinion. But he fits in based on every team in the NBA, basically. So yeah, Liam, good pick. I think the last pick in the last pick in the lottery is you, Q.
Dallas. Dallas is funny, man. They the 4th team seed, right?
That's crazy. This me?
Yep, it's you. They I would say they need a wing.
They need everything. If they here right now, they need everything.
There's one guy right here that I like. I'm kind of mad that Boogie ain't make the cut. Can't go right here. Kyrie's playing well, so they're not going to guard again. Kyrie damn near been a top 15 player. I think you need more shooting still. Klay Thompson obviously not going to be there forever. Add another one to that mix. There's a guy about 6'8", shooting crazy right now. I don't know if it's going to last. It's not on crazy value, but I know he can shoot that. He's efficient. So at 14, the Dallas Mavericks select Will Riley. 6'8", like I said, could shoot that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's shooting like 60% right now, 70 something like that. Still efficient, 17 points per game. I think he slides right in. Provides him that same thing that you expected to get from Klay Thompson. I really like him. I was down on him, but from what I've seen, I think he will be a good NBA player, especially next to Luka Doncic. I don't really see a lot of players playing bad next to dude.
No, this is a great pick. I like Will Riley. He's not just a shooter either. He can go get his own bucket. He can create his own shot. He's a real actual bucket. He also has playmaking feel, can pass the ball. He's been efficient this year. I don't know why Illinois is not starting him. I don't know what they're doing. He had a really good game against Kansas as well. My thing with him is how is he going to deal with physicality, because he is very, very skinny. Yep. How is he going to be able to defend? What position are he going to be able to defend as well? But for someone that can probably be like a 6-man type of person for the Mavericks pretty soon, I think Will Riley is a great pick for sure.
That Kansas game moved me, man. Both of them. Yeah. They both was on some shit. I thought they was gonna win the game. I'm like, yo, like the way they was hooping. Woo.
Bro, I had this on the Spurs, but yeah, I gotta fix that. But anyways, that's the full lottery. We will do full first round as the season progresses and later mock drafts. But I think this is a pretty good mock draft. A lot of the top talent in the class and coinciding with their fit as well for the team. So I appreciate Rev for coming on. Thank you for all the support you give us all the time. Q, always thank you for being consistent with us. This can probably come out either.
When you say that, it's a sub. Like, who you subbing, bro?
I'm not subbing nobody.
I feel like you the way you say it, you just be like.
Nah, bro. Q is always on time. Here, okay. Knowledgeable, prepared, all that type of stuff.
Okay. No
sub. Anyways, that's gonna do it for the mock draft. Probably gonna come out on Monday because I don't want to drop it when NFL football is going on. So yeah, thank you for Riv coming on. Make sure to retweet this so we can get some views. Nah, our mock draft is doing well, but yeah, thank you though. We out.